Well, I've got a real treat for Amish cook readers this week. I'm here with Glenda Lehman Urban, who is the daughter of the founder of Lehman's hardware store. And I know we have a lot of Lehman's fans on the Amish Cook site. We've talked about it a lot in threads on the site. But here I am actually here today. And I'm really excited to explore. And I'm here with Glenda, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about the store.
Sure.
You've grown up here, basically, right?
I actually worked someplace else for a little bit, but certainly the family business has been here. As a matter of fact, we are celebrating our 55th anniversary this year.
Okay.
Lehman's was founded by my father, Jay Lehman, in 1955. And it was a small country store, but he had two goals. One, to preserve the Amish non-electric lifestyle, was providing them with the products they needed. That was one goal. And the other one was to preserve the past for future generations. After all, if there are no butter churns, nobody knows how to churn butter.
Yeah.
So over the years, now when he started the business, every small town had a little store that was that sold oil lamps and push mowers. It wasn't that unusual, but because of his two goals, to serve the Amish and others without electricity, and to preserve the past for future generations, he said, I want to keep doing this no matter what happens around me. So in the 70s, when people said, you need to stock color TVs, he said, no, thank you. In the 90s, when people said, this stuff is old-fashioned, nobody wants it anymore, he said, no, thank you. And now in the year 2010, we are probably the one-stop shopping for people who choose to live with no electricity, unreliable electricity, and in today's world, people care about the economy, the environment, and what they eat.
Yeah.
And that's what people cared about 100 years ago, is because they had no money, and all they had was land, and if you didn't grow it and preserve it, you starved in the winter. So I told Dad, I said, we're so old-fashioned, we're hip.
Yeah, you are.
Nobody really cared, but...
And didn't you experience it in the run-up to Y2K?
It was crazy.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because, I mean, think about it. If there was no electricity in the United States for, say, a month, planes wouldn't fly, grocery stores would be empty. Most of us have no way to heat our home, cook our food, light. We're completely unprepared. And so what we learned during Y2K is that we need to help people, however it works for them, incorporate our products into their way of life. You live in an apartment in Manhattan, maybe a hand-cranked radio, a non-electric light, a water filter. You have 100 acres in Montana, then you're going to need all the food processing and food preserving and a wood cook stove like this more ornate one, or the simpler one that our Amish customers would use.
And you've seen our videos before, viewers have seen these types of stoves in Levina's house or any of the other Amish homes I've been to. Now, if you are in Montana or in the apartment in Manhattan, catalog, you can go online. See, your customer base is no longer just the local hardware stores.
It isn't.
Worldwide.
Right, and for a long time, we were the store, and if you had that lifestyle, you came to us. That's the way retail was in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Then with the advent of the catalog, we started to reach those people in Montana, in Washington State.
So what's the most exotic place you've shipped that?
Think of the farthest place away, whether it's a remote island in the Caribbean, Australia. We have a guy in Australia that posts on our Facebook page. Now, talk about dripping with irony. We use high-tech to sell low-tech.
Yeah, it's sort of with the Amish cook column. You know, you're watching this on the website, and Levina writes the column. You know, it's
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's not about us. It's not about you, and it's not about me or my dad. It's about our customers. And if our customers are 40 or younger, they're going to go online. So you better be on YouTube, and you better have a blog, and because that's
Lehman's has a Facebook page.
That's how people get information. So honestly, given his brothers, my dad's 81, very technology savvy, is working here. However, given his brothers, he would have nothing to do with the internet. But you know what? It's not about him.
Yeah.
How else is he going to sell a product from 100 years ago to a young person in today's world? You have to be where they are. Television changed my world. YouTube changed young people's world today. So we have YouTube videos. Why should I buy a fire press? Let me show you. How do I churn butter? We have a YouTube video that shows how to clean out your wood stove that has gotten over 80,000.
I've linked to that. Now, I do have a question. Your customer base 55 years ago was primarily Amish, right? Now, looking around here, you do see some Amish, but you see mainly non-Amish. When did that evolution begin to occur to where the customer base brought in so many non-Amish?
It was very gradual. The numbers of Amish clients that we still serve is greater than it was in the 1950s, but it's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
So, and it's not only what happened to us, it's what happened to this community. They moved into more rural areas as this area became more commercialized. So if you want a big farm property, you move south.
Yeah.
Holmes County has a very large population. I would say it was relatively recently, maybe the 80s, the 90s, and then with direct, which is the catalog and the website, of course, something not involved with the store grew dramatically. Because we have lots of customers who'd love for them to visit, because where they live or whatever, Alaska, they don't even know we have a store. And then we have customers who come to the store and don't know anything about the website. Because again, it's about them, where they are, what they want to do. They want to bake one loaf of bread a year, or they want to feed everything from their garden to their children.
Well, one more question, and that is, an unusual offbeat item in your catalog, in your store, that people actually do buy, even though it's unusual and offbeat? What comes to mind?
Oh, there are so many of them, and I'll show you a few. I talk to school children, and I have them guess what things are, and one thing that they never guess is a simple handle with a round wood ball. It's a sock darner. Because today, sock darn. Today, I ask children, 3rd, 4th graders, when you get a hole in your sock, what do you do? Throw it away.
Buy a new pair.
Go to Target, buy a new pair.
Yeah.
But in the olden days, I said when you had to raise the sheep, shear the sheep, spin the wool, and knit the socks, you didn't throw the socks away.
You are absolutely right. We have a disposable culture.
Exactly. And so that's just a small thing, but who sells sock darning balls?
Lady does.
Yeah. So.
You can't get those at Walmart. Probably not. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Nice meeting you.
Great to meet you. We're going to explore some more, and thank you for tuning in. And thanks again.
Sure.
How long was that?